Hi everyone, I'm Ashley Srokosz, business coach for holistic health practitioners, doTERRA Diamond Leader, and I'm here sharing today another vlog post for you. Today we are going to dive deep on building a business with your strengths. The reason I want to talk about this is because I spent years building a business based off of what other people were telling me. I'd look up blog articles and people had courses that I'd take, and they had this amazing system that was working for them, but it didn't always work for me. And I've come to realize it was because those people were working with their natural strengths, and it wasn't necessarily matching up with my natural strengths with what I was trying to recreate with their system that I was purchasing. So I'm here today to share some tips for building a business with your specific strengths, because believe it or not, the way that you build your business, you can model it off of someone else's. You can learn and take all these courses and take all of this knowledge and try to integrate it into your own business. But if it's not acting on your natural strengths, it's going to feel a lot harder along the way. So let's jump into some of the things that I've been learning over the past little bit that has helped myself and my team that I have working with me to work towards our greatest strengths and take the path of least resistance in our business. So step number one is to find out what your strengths are. So I love this new system. Now this has become incorporated a little bit into doTERRA's culture, but we're using something called StrengthsFinder. StrengthsFinder is a system that was created by a company called Gallup, and that was created by Don Clifton, who is, he's the father of strengths psychology and using your strengths in your life, not just in your business, but in your life in general, to feel the most fulfilled and have the least stress possible. So when you purchase this book, which is available, it's called StrengthsFinder 2.0. It's the latest version of Gallup's StrengthsFinder series. And you can find this on Amazon. In Canada, you can find it on Chapters Indigo. You can purchase it directly from Gallup.com. But with this book purchase, you're actually going to get a code to take a test online. It's going to take about 30 to 45 minutes, and it's going to spit out at the end of this test that you take with all these questions, it's going to spit out a list of your top 5 strengths that you yourself have based on how you answered these questions. I've actually taken the test twice, about 6 weeks apart, and my top 5 strengths, 4 of them were the same in the same order. So it's a very consistent test. You can try it out yourself, although I don't know why you would waste the time doing that. But here are my top strengths. I am number 1 in Achiever, which explains why I'm so unhappy when I'm not producing new things. I'm a learner, futuristic, focused, and strategic. So you can see that they split them also into different families. So there's purple, red, yellow, and blue, and they relate to different things. So I have a lot of executing and strategizing as my top 5 strengths. There's also relationship building and, what was the other one? I forget what the other one was. But either way, you tend to kind of, everyone has their different strengths. You could be all one color. You could have 4 different colors. There's no rhyme or reason. And the beautiful part is that there's no wrong answers. The chances of you having the same top 5 strengths in the exact same order as someone else is 1 in 33 million. Gallup's been running this test for decades now, I believe, and out of all the people in the United States who have taken the test, only 10 people have had the same top 5 strengths in the same order, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they give you that number to order. You can then unlock the top 34 strengths. There's only 34 strengths that Gallup has put everyone into, and the chance of you having the same 34 strengths in the same order, 1 to 34, as someone else is 1 in 256 undecillion. That means there's 26 zeros after that number. So there have only been, from the beginning of time, again estimated, about 106 billion people on the planet. So that literally means that you are one of a kind. And that's the beautiful part about building a business and living your life. And I believe that one of the greatest parts about life is learning more about yourself as you go along. The frustrating part is that there's no one else like you. So if you want to emulate someone else, if you want to, develop a business that is based on something that someone else has done, then the chances of it being completely successful for you are very slim to none, which is why it's important for us to learn about ourselves. So that's step number 1, is find out what your strengths are. Step number 2 is research what those top 5 strengths mean. Now, in the Strengths Finder book, there's a breakdown of each of the strengths, and they give you examples and explanations about it. But what was really a game changer for me was receiving this Clifton Strengths resource guide. You can purchase this on their website, again, gallup.com, for $15 US. And the best part is that so it lists each of the 34 strengths, and then it gives you a really good description of what that strength is, which would be very similar to what the book's going to provide you if you've paid for that already. But what I love, and this is the achiever, the strategizer in me, is that it gives you a list of action items that might be really good or some things to avoid for your particular strength. I love this. After I read and went through this guide for my top 5 strengths, I was like, oh my God, this makes so much sense why I like certain things and why I don't like other things. So research what these top 5 strengths mean and really pay attention to those action items. Again, it's an additional purchase. It's only $15 US. Money well spent as far as I'm concerned. So that's the second one, is research what the top 5 strengths mean. The third one, and I want to preface this by saying, and I should have said this at the beginning, is that I have a free download. If you're watching this on YouTube, there's a link below to take you to the blog post. If you're watching this on my blog post, there's a link directly below this to get your Building Your Strengths, Building Your Business with Your Strengths workbook. And it's got space for you to work through all of these action points that I'm sharing, so you can write it down and really get a good idea of what's going on in your business and are you using your strengths to your fullest. So number 3, and it links up with the document that's a free download, is doing a current business audit. So I want you to write down as many of the tasks that you can remember doing either on a daily, a weekly, or a monthly basis. So it might include things like blog posts, social media, bookkeeping. Maybe you work with a team and you're doing some mentoring. When you're working with your clients one-on-one, you're doing coaching with your clients. Maybe you're creating online programs. Like all of those things. Answering emails is even one thing that you're doing that it's a task that takes up your time. Write down each individual task, and for each of those tasks, figure out if it is using your strengths or not. Now, we don't need to take action on this. There's no judgment. It's just write down the task. Yes or no, is it taking advantage of your natural strengths? It's just an audit. It's a starting place for us to know where you want to go. Now, so that's step 3, is a current business audit. Step 4 is figuring out your future business goals. So we want to write down what you want your business to look like, whether it's 6 months from now, a year from now, 2 years from now. I like to work with my team and help them create a 2-year vision. So even 2 years out feels far enough away that things can change dramatically, but not far enough away that it's really far in the future and it's hard to work towards. So first things, when you're writing down that list of what you want your business to look like, pay attention to what you want it to look like versus what you're doing right now. If those are 2 totally separate things, you have a lot of work to do of what you're going to give up, how that's going to change from how your day looks right now to how you want it to look in the future. Are you working 10 hours a day right now and you want to only work 5 hours a day? That's a lot of stuff that needs to get cut out of your schedule. So you want to write down what you want to be doing, and what you can do is figure out or maybe highlight the things that you maybe want to hire out first. In the last year, I've hired out my bookkeeping. Believe it or not, even though I was making almost 6 figures, I was still doing my own bookkeeping. Total waste of time, not in my strengths finder at all, not in my top strengths, and also a really, really annoying task that every time it came up every quarter, when it came time for me to do my sales taxes to give to the government, I dreaded it. So those are things that you can start hiring out, maybe not now, but what is your order of what you want to hire out? This isn't just about hiring everything out and putting yourself in debt or knowing that you're not going to have any money to pay yourself, although that is a strategy for growing in the future. But hiring those things out. I just hired a social media manager. I love looking at social media and looking at the beautiful pictures. But to have those in-depth conversations on social media sometimes feels very tiring for me. I'm an introvert. I like to be focused. I like to learn. I like to achieve things. And me sitting and having discussions on social media doesn't make me feel like I'm achieving something, even though for other people it could. So that's where you might want to start looking at things that you want to hire out. That's number 4, is your future business goals. Number 5 is, what are your future business projects that you have in mind? So if you're like me, I am a futuristic achiever. That means I'm always thinking of the future. I'm always thinking of what could be the potential of the future. And we can do this and we can do that, and let's figure out how to do all the things. But if you're like me, you do have a million different projects. And believe it or not, just because an idea comes to you doesn't mean that you are the perfect person to implement it. And I don't mean perfect in terms of we have to be perfect or not. I just mean there might be someone else that idea better fits. There might be another idea that will come to you that will fit your strengths so well that you will feel so in the flow, and you will feel like less of a struggle when you are doing that project, because any project is going to be a lot of work. Just because something is in your top 5 strengths, it doesn't mean that you're not still going to have to put hours and work into it. It just means that those hours and work will more than likely not feel like work to you, which is always the goal. So write down your ideas, write them out either in as much detail or as little detail as you want, but figure out if your strengths are going to help you in that project to help you accomplish it. So if your strengths don't match up with a dream project of yours, you can also look at it and say, is there a way to make this project better fit my strengths? Is there a way to tweak a few things that aren't feeling very good to me right now so that I can have more flow and more ease in those projects in the future? So that's number 5, is looking at your future business goals and being very strategic. Again, that's the strategizer in me. Being very strategic about what tasks you're doing on those projects, how you can mold and change the project to better fit your own style and your own strengths. So step number 6 is supporting a team. Now, you might not have a team right now. You might be working towards having a team. This is something to keep in mind if you don't have one right now. But when it comes to hiring out your work, to me, and after having a couple of assistants and now having a social media manager, for me, it can go one of 2 ways. Number 1 is to hire someone very similar in strengths to you. And the reason is because you'll probably understand each other very well. You'll probably communicate in a very similar way, and you'll work together really well. So if you're someone who's like me and you have a lot of stuff on the go because you're such an achiever, you have all these different parts of your business, an assistant might be better suited for you if you find someone very similar to you, because they're going to have that natural strength of the organizing and the strategizing and being able to wrap their head around so many moving parts. The other way to go is to hire someone who has very different strengths from you. So this is what I've done with my social media manager, is I've hired someone who loves doing that relationship building. Relationship building is nowhere near my top 5. It's very tiring for me. I try to almost create a cocoon for myself around that. So I hired someone who has that natural ability and who loves doing that. And they're going to have the best time creating relationships and helping me create relationships on social media in a way that doesn't feel as draining for me, but also still has my style and my flair and my heart, and taking my intentions and putting them forward there. So if you have a network marketing team like I do with my doTERRA team, you can ask each of your leaders or the people that you're working really closely with to do this test as well. There's even a way for you to pay for them to take this test, and have them report back with your top 5 strengths, with their top 5 strengths. Then you use the Clifton resource guide and you help look at how are the ways that they're running their business now, and maybe you can get creative and help them discover some ways that they can tweak their business so that they can grow in a better way that's less stressful and more full of ease for them. Because the more they grow, if they're part of your team, the more your team and your results and your numbers are going to grow. So help them figure out how to use their strengths to the best of their ability. So whether it's someone that you've hired, maybe it's a contractor you're working with, even my bookkeeper, he's amazing at systems and he has all these systems set up, even more so than me. So this is where you can use someone with your strengths. So I hope that you enjoyed this today. Remember to go and download the free report if you're interested in moving forward with your strengths and using them to your advantage. Please go and download my report, work through it. It's a really short document. It's only about 5 pages with lots of room for you to do some brainstorming. That's not all written words. So please go and download that if you're interested in using your strengths. We can all create businesses that we love, but we're ultimately not going to love our business if it's structured in a certain way that goes against how we want to feel in our businesses. That is what this Strengths Finder is just another tool that you can use to learn yourself better and how you operate in your own zone of genius. I hope you enjoyed today's video. See you next time, guys.